Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're looking at Fantastique from Art of Play. In 1770, Hungarian inventor Wolfgang von Kempelen attended the court of Maria Theresa of Austria, where he watched his magician Francois Pelletier dazzle the crowd with his magnet-powered illusions. As the show drew to a close, Kempelen stood and announced to the assembled crowd that he would create something that would top this magnificent performance. And 6 months later, he returned to the Empress with his creation, the automaton chess player. It consisted of a wooden mannequin clothed in traditional Turkish garb and seated behind a cabinet topped with a chessboard. And he promised that this mechanical marvel could play chess at a master level against any opponent. He would go on to tour Europe demonstrating the robot's prowess to such notable opponents as Napoleon Bonaparte and Benjamin Franklin. But little did spectators know that this mechanical Turk's cabinet possessed no artificial intelligence. Instead, it concealed a human chess master inside, operating the board through intricate machinery. Kempelen's invention would capture the imagination of spectators for decades, a unique blend of technology and human ingenuity. And even today, the term mechanical Turk is used to refer to technology solutions that leverage human labor and intelligence as part of their processing, an enduring legacy to the original chess-playing robot. And in a nod to this golden age of magic, when magicians like Robert Houdin would construct their own automatons to power their illusions, Art of Play worked with designer Sveta Doroshiva to bring us Fantastique. This is actually V2 of the deck. V1's a pretty old deck, one that's a bit harder to find now. So very excited to see this one brought to a new generation of collectors and excited to get a hold of one myself. So let's check it out. All right, starts off with the tuck box. It's done on a matte stock with just a little bit of a hit of foil. You get the name of the deck in this really kind of flowery script here, Fantastique, done in gold foil and given a slight embossing, a really nice kind of pop of color on an otherwise black and white deck. And the image in the back, despite being black and white, is kind of a whimsical, fun design made up of the big top hat and then lots of little flourishes, almost like a paisley pattern, exploding out all over the hat. You even get the bicycle riding rabbit juggling over here in the corner. Everything kind of calling to mind the old vaudeville shows that you might find back in the 1800s. Beautiful look to it overall, and the black and white gives it that kind of classic vibe. The tops and the sides just have this very simple striping pattern, so nothing too special there. And then on the bottom, you get your ad copy there for Art of Play. And on the back, this isn't the back design of the cards, but it does feature a slightly embossed image here of this sort of bird magician here. And you can see covered with bits of like automaton characteristics here, like the hat with a little, I don't know what you call that, almost like a cuckoo bird platform, but with a little jester popping out of the hat. You get the cage with the bird in there, the cane, just kind of a fun arcane looking little image there. And as you open it up, get the credit for Sveta Doroshiva, who I mentioned designed the deck, and these fun little faces here, almost like mechanical faces on the inner flaps. Interior printing on this one is beautiful, super detailed, very ornate design that continues all the way through the interior of the tuck box, but all done in black and white. So beautiful, simple tuck box, lots of great artwork on this one, but still kind of maintaining that vintage feel that they're trying to capture throughout so much of the deck. But there's your tuck box, and then on to the back design. And the back design, again, kind of goes to that vaudeville feel. All done in black and white, and you get sort of a menagerie of different performers here. You get the unicycle riders playing drums here on the side. You get the penny farthing there in the middle with its own rider, and even a woman being sawed in half in the background. Two big bird heads in the corners, just tons going on. Love the little checkerboard pattern here used for the floor, and then the whole thing reflected on the other side to keep this as a two-way design. But as kind of fun and zany as that is, this doesn't even get to the coolest feature of this back design. See, the entire back design serves as a flip book. So when you have this thing in new deck order, you can flip it up here. We'll see if we can kind of see the motion here. But you can see also kind of moves as you go through. So as you flip through the deck, you get that little animation effect The drummers start to beat their drums. The lady gets sawed in half and spread apart there. And you can even see a plant that grows its way out of the hat of the rider there in the center. That growing plant there is a nod to one of Robert Houdin's most famous illusions, the magnificent orange tree, where he would have an actual orange tree that would bloom on stage. So cool little nod, and I love the flipbook animation. This was one of the first decks that I ever saw that did that. I think it's just such a cool little touch. Obviously kind of takes away from the usability of the deck because in essence, the backs of the cards are in a way kind of marked, but very cool little effect for an art or a collector's deck. All right, so that's the back design. You do get 4 extra cards on this one. It's typical for USBCC printed decks. The first one features an image of that same bird that we saw on the back design of the cards. So that's your first Joker there. Kind of a fun little piece of art. You also get another one here with the word Joker made up of different sort of circus performers. You can see contortionists there bending their bodies into the shapes of the letters and things like that. So another kind of zany card with Joker written vertically there. And then this one, this is kind of a different card. This is a double-sided card that forms a little illusion called a thaumatrope. I don't have everything necessary to do it here, but if you punch out these holes here and then kind of twist a rubber band and then allow it to kind of twist and spin the card really fast, it'll make it look like the bird on this side is trapped inside the cage on the other. Kind of the two images will blend together as you spin the card. So kind of a cool little extra illusion to include with the deck. And then finally, this Black Art of Play ad card as the final extra card. So fun little use of the extra cards on this one. Love the thaumatrope as an extra in this one. All right, so the Ace of Spades is the last of the only one of the cards that's really all that custom in the deck, but is a cool little nod. If you remember the Mechanical Turk that we talked about at the beginning, he of course gets his nod as the feature on the Ace of Spades. And there in the middle, you can see the Turk seated in front of his chessboard and the machinery underneath that's actually concealing that human chess player inside. Very cool little look to it. And then the swirl of filigree and little patterns that are kind of coming out of the top there. Just a very cool little nod. And I love the story of the Mechanical Turk. Bottom has the Fantastique playing cards, again in that kind of flowery script. And then a pretty classic Arco style pip and index there in the corners. As you go through the rest of the deck, it's pretty much an Arco standard deck. Art of Play tends to not do too many customizations on their cards, instead opting for cards that are kind of more suitable for Magic or gameplay. As you'll see, even the quartz on this one done with just standard red, blue, yellow coloring with those Arco style quartz. Personally, I wish they'd at least recolored the quartz. Actually, V1 of this deck used monochrome colors on the quartz, which I thought helped it fit in with the rest of the black and white of the deck a little bit better. For me, custom quartz would have been even better, but still a fun deck, even with the inclusion of a fairly standard set of faces on this one. So nothing too special as we go through these, just the standard pips, standard quartz for the rest of the deck. But a beautiful Ace of Spades and a really unique back design, especially with that flip book effect. And that is the deck. So it's printed on USBCC's crushed stock. This is a crushed stock that's pretty much, I think, exclusive for Art of Play. It's a beautiful handling stock, very, very thin feel to it. Nice, very smooth handling on these. So all Art of Play decks, I think, handle really, really nicely. So great job on that front. And that is the look at Fantastique. I had the V1 in this deck a long time ago, one of the early decks I picked up, and I've always loved it. And V2 just kind of gives it new life for a whole new generation. So really glad that this one got made. Now, this one actually currently isn't available as a standalone deck. It's only available as part of the variety box from Art of Play. So I'll put a link to the description to where you can pick up that variety box for yourself, or hopefully at some point, Art of Play will release this as its own standalone deck. Really one that I think is a lot of fun to have in the collection. Love the little nods to history and the history of Magic kind of told through the deck. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings, and let me know what else you want to see. That's it for now, and I'll see you for the next one.